singer-songwriter point of view, you know, just me on the stage over the stomp box and things like that. That's very different from a band, because obviously you've got 3 or 4 personalities on the stage. They can all be doing different things, which is more engaging. Yep. But if I'm just got a guitar and a stomp box, you know, how do I then, you know, get out and create these moments when I've just really got a guitar and a stomp box? You know, how does that happen?
You asked that. I just literally finished doing, I'm in the process of editing a singer-songwriter DVD series.
Brilliant.
Yeah. I mean, the basic premise, it might be called this: you are the band. You know, you are the band. So how do you keep their attention? It's a great analogy. I mean, that's the question. Well, it's a combination. First of all, you got to understand, a band would be another analogy, an action movie. In other words, people running around, a lot of stuff going on, lights. You know, that's an action movie. You're more like a dialogue movie, meaning it's got the subtler things have got to happen. So understanding how to put pressure on the audience, get out with the audience, the edge of the stage. Do you loop?
Yeah, I'm doing more of that, but I do.
Yeah. Well, again, I got to go back to where people are listening. I would use a stool for a touch. I'd have some touching stuff. In other words, what material that you've written, and this could go to covers, that is touching. I would sit on a stool part of the night. I would actually probably put a headset on and do something like an audience participation or something. It's not about the music then, it's about the personality. It's what I call changing pressure on the audience. I would rearrange the song so that as I'm playing the introduction, I extend the intro so that I can get out and rock with the people at first and then get back to the microphone. One of the things that I do constantly, if you saw the CD Baby thing, is the way to get back to a microphone for anybody, whether it's a band, whether it's, you know, because it's time to start singing, is you play the progression 2 times, 4 times, 6 times, 8 times, depends on what you want to do. If you have a lead guitar player, or you know, he goes off for 4, 5, 6 times, you know, bars, depending on how good he is. But then when it's time to get back, instead of going through the progression, you land on the 1 chord, you land on the root chord. And you watch Bono do this. You watch Springsteen do. They'll stand there on that chord after being out front. And they're not singing. Everyone knows they're going to sing. So what you're doing is, by landing on that chord, you're away from the microphone. You create anticipation to go up to the microphone stand. So people are like, you watch Bono, and he'll stand back and go. And they're just laying on that chord. And then when he walks up, there's the payoff. And people are like, yeah, that's what I was waiting for. But if you just give it to them all the time, always when it's supposed to, you don't create that anticipation. So using tools, spreading the stage. These are practical things. Spreading the stage meaning if you're going to do a loop, do you do any soloing around a loop or anything?
Basic stuff, yeah.
I would, and I would walk off to the side of the stage so that people who are watching you all of a sudden have to go look over there for a while, instead of this all night, and it's a Chinese water torture. So you change the pressure on the audience. And then when we come back, they know it's vocal time. This time it's they're paying attention to the guitar or you. Yeah, I got a lot of this stuff on my new DVD series that I'm editing. Leaving space in the song, chatting over a groove. Do you talk to your audience?
Mm.
Yeah, all right. Verbal skills are important, obviously, for a singer-songwriter, because that's one of the ways we communicate as humans. But I would use the tools: headset, stool, stand, change instruments if I could, maybe some tuning changes. If you can carry it, 1 or 2 guitars, maybe even do a couple songs. Do you do them electric or acoustic?
Like plug-in acoustic, electric acoustic.
Yeah. So I don't know if that helps.
Yeah, it does, man. And yeah, it's actually after I was watching your stuff, and I saw one of the things you were doing. You were saying that exact thing of like hold it on the one chord and just chipping away and stuff, and then talk over that, tell the story over that, and then come in. And I tried that last week, and it worked. It was like just started playing, and it was like, okay, so I'm Spence, I'm going to be here till 11 o'clock, and we're going to have some fun tonight. And the people were like, just what's going on in there? And people just wandered in, and they didn't know why they were coming in. They were just, and the people following. It was like, this is great.
Yeah. Well,
so it's great. These little tips, they do work.
It's a bunch of little things. If you're already good to great is a bunch of little things. Yeah. It's like a meal. You have a good piece of meat. You have this and this, and a little spice here, a little this there, a little this here. The huge part, though, is arranging the songs and delivering them, rearranging the songs for live.
Yeah, and I was also you talking about the headset as well. I mean, I have to go wireless guitar as well. So I was thinking about, because I'm doing 3 sets nowadays, so like an hour and 2 45s. So like the first hour could be like the headset set, and then second set, or put the headset set in the middle and do all that kind of stuff. But yeah.
Or if people are coming in and out, if you do 3 sets, you do 2 songs or 3 songs on the headset. You pull it on as you're talking. Hey, how's it going? Yeah, and then you break the pressure in each set. Yeah. You can mix and match. You can do a whole set that way, or you could when I first got Taylor, she did everything with a headset. Yeah. And I put her behind a stand also. And then I gave her an electric guitar. All these things are subtle, but it just keeps an audience engaged. It's like, ooh, that's different. It's like a movie. When, think about it. We can, when you watch a movie or even a TV series, oftentimes there's 2 or 3 stories going on at the same time. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. It's like they start the thing, and then all of a sudden here comes a new character, a new storyline, and then hopefully by the end of the night they all tie together and it makes sense. But we're used to jumping around. I don't mean jumping around like schizophrenically. You set a premise. This is how a good set is brought in. Is how do we keep people's attention by adding or subtracting things in our set so that it's not the same thing all the time, both musically and visually.
We talked about Bono and we talked about Taylor Swift, people like that. So who do you think at the moment, like currently, is doing is like a top performer, someone to sort of model, if you like? Or
oh boy. Well, first of all, not all the people, but all the people who are at the top of the food chain, except maybe a Springsteen. Some of the rock bands aren't, but you get into the pop world, and they've got Broadway producers producing their show, lighting, the script, the whole thing. So there's quite a few that are. I mean, go online YouTube and watch Pink's rock show from 8 years ago, where it's just her and her band rocking, and it's good. But then go watch Pink's arena show where she's floating through the air, and there's all kinds of costumes, and there's all kinds of different things. And you see the limitations she has when she's just doing it by herself. And she's good. She could be better when it's by herself. That's where I could really help her. But you know what? You can go on Pink. You can go on. I mean, I'm going to go old school here, but she's always done high quality stuff as Madonna. I mean, it's just like always something unique, something that whether you love her or hate her, it's a really good show. But literally there's dozens of these shows out there now that are produced by Broadway guys. They're just traveling Broadway shows with music. I mean, really, when you think about the costuming and the staging and the lighting and the screens, the one thing that is my pet peeve. The one thing that I don't like is when the production becomes the show. If that makes any sense. You know, things explode. I don't mind things exploding. You know, we used a waterfall in Taylor's show, our first tour. But it has to complement what the song is and what it's not just a bunch of stuff blowing up and cool lighting. Unfortunately, that happens too. You know what I mean? And people walk away and go, wow, that was a great show. And I'm thinking, no, it wasn't. It was great production. But it kept people engaged because the guys who were doing the production knew how to keep adding things to help the artist on stage. I prefer having the artist and coming out from the artist, not going the other way, if that makes any sense. But I don't know. There's quite a few that are doing a good job. Really,
how would you kind of end, like, I guess there's like, you're talking about creating moments in shows, and I guess that can be anything, like you say, from surprise to laughter to emotion, you know, sort of taking it down on the stool and, you know, getting sad and getting people, you know, that kind of thing. So how would you, I guess it depends on the style, but in terms of how would you like start a show and how would you ideally end it? What's the kind of the book?
Well, my logic, yeah. First of all, let me say something about, let me give you a clue about moments to me. And this is moments that, don't let me forget, I'll answer that question. But moments to me, where I find moments, particularly with artists who are moving up the food chain, trying to move up, particularly there. Because when you have waterfalls and you have lifts and you have things, you can always make it, you know, different moments that way. But so if you have nothing else, you don't have the production, you have potential to still create musical moments, touching moments, fun moments, and that all goes to the rearrangement of the song. That's the very first thing I look at. It's like, how many times have you written a song or heard a song or played a song? The truth is, the bridge, now I know it's not intended to be, because always, you know, the idea is the chorus is supposed to be a payoff. That's the payoff. That's where you're supposed to, oh yeah. But maybe 30% of the songs, it's really the bridge turns out to be the best part of the song. So if you play it the way you do on radio or that you recorded it, the bridge goes by so quick an audience, they don't get it. So what I'll do, for example, is I look inside those songs and find things that are what I think the audience will respond to, the parts in the song that I think are the strongest, the most memorable, whether it's a rhythm, we break down into a huge drum thing, whether it's the bridge, whether it's a vocal line, whether it's a lyric line. So if there's a lyrics that are just really incredibly strong, I get rid of a lot of the music so people can hear the lyrics. But if there's a cool melody, so I will milk the melody. I will just develop it. The idea is to develop those things inside a 3.5 minute, 4 minute song that you're not bound by radio anymore. You know, you have freedom. You don't have to play the song the way they are. I did an event with one of the groups I was working with. This is a few years ago in Nashville, and it was an industry event. Booking agents, promoters, literally 2,000 industry people there, and there was about 10 groups, and they all had just 12 minutes to show their thing. And some of these groups were like A groups, you know, sold